Welcome back to Chatter in the Swamp, your go-to source for everything Keene SwampBats. I'm your host, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and after a long and hot week, the SwampBats are still top dogs in the NECBL, but have hit a roadblock throughout that week and suffered a few losses that they're not really used to suffering so far this season has gone. And it's far from a time for any panic, but it was just a wake up call after this week where teams that best team in the NECBL should beat, they fell to, getting swept in the doubleheader against North Shore, and it was just these teams play every day, all summer long. They're bound to lose some games. It's like it's baseball. Sometimes the offense comes through, sometimes the bullpen doesn't come through, starting pitching. But this is a high-powered team still that the offense is still going. And speaking of high-powered offense, player of the week, Ty Manolfi. Manolfi, he committed to Boston College about a week and a half ago, or a week ago, we could say. And he's been on a tear since. He went four straight games with multi-hit games, and he actually hit a walk-off in one of those games. And he was just on a tear, and he still is. At the end of the week, he capped off another game where he came through in the clutch. And now that it's still been a successful start to the season, first month of the season as June wraps up, a lot of home games. The team is still undefeated, being the home team at Alumni Field. So a lot goes into those games, not only on the field, but off of it. And today we're diving into what makes game day run so smoothly at Alumni Field with the guy who helps it make it all happen, Liam Falla. Liam, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Fitzy. How are you?
I'm good, fella. I'm good. I'm good. And I really wanted to get you on the show this week just because the heat wave we've had lately and the big event we had. Our last home game, I think it was. What game was it again?
Yeah, we had our Savings Bank of Walpole 150th anniversary, and we had our camper night the night before. It's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
and 3,200 people there,
Yes, sir.
at least. And a lot of people come for the ball game and the events that are happening outside of the ballpark, and no one has an idea really on how all that stuff happens. And it's really you. So tell us about your job and what goes into it.
Yeah, I would say a lot of it is it's 50% behind the scenes and 50% in front of everybody. A lot of work goes into all the stuff that we do. There's a lot of planning involved that goes into setting up a game day, and then there's executing the game day. So whether it's interacting with sponsors, making sure that families are feeling good and ready for a baseball game, or whether it's just making sure that everything is going smoothly from top to bottom.
That's right. And of course, let's get this straight. Liam Falla, the director of game day operations, and
Yes, sir.
you worked here previously, and now last year you were an intern, just an operations guy. Now
Yeah.
you're a lot higher. You're doing your job pretty well, right?
What can I say? Yeah, I was an operations intern last year. Had a great time. Had some great role models. Shout out to Trevor last year, and wanted to return this year and see if I can continue the tradition.
You know, going back to where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Conway, Massachusetts,
Yes,
right?
sir. Conway, Mass.
You talk a lot about how it was like very away from everything, disconnected.
Yeah.
Let me know about that.
Yeah, so I really grew up in the middle of nowhere. It was 25 acres, middle of the woods, old log cabin, and nothing within a 20-minute drive. So I studied psychology at school. I find that really interesting, and I think that that was very important for my development. It helped me become a very independent person and really shaped me into the person I am today, for sure.
And you studied psychology
Mhm.
and sports management at
Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
I majored in psych and then I minored in sports management. So that was the brunt of my classes during college.
And how were the internships coming out of that school where like it's Oklahoma State
Yes,
and
sir.
UMass athletics?
Yeah.
How were the internships there?
So yeah, I when I was at school, I worked in the ticket office, and then along with that, I worked on game days for football, baseball, wrestling, basketball, just about anything you can imagine. A lot of that was selling tickets, but a good portion of that too was interacting with fans, making sure that the fan experience was great, and really interacting with all the people that were coming to the game. So that was really fun. And then when I was at UMass, my internship was a lot of data entry
Mm.
and making sure that the website was looking good and had all the applicable information for all of the players that come through there. So it was a lot of writing reports, making sure that stats were entered correctly, and making sure that everybody could access everything on the website.
So you're used to high pressure situations like you
Yes,
do
sir.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoy the high flying pace of sports. That's for sure.
And you, like I mentioned, you were here last year,
Mhm.
operations intern. What was your first impression on the SwampBats when you got here last year?
It was crazy. So, little behind the scenes. Fitzy, he was actually signed up to be the operations intern and suffered a pretty brutal knee injury.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
at the last second, I swooped in and took his place. And my first impression was just how great the people are here. Kevin, Sarah, other Sarah, and all the people that make this organization tick, whether it be the board members, the volunteers, or the thousands of fans that show up every night. And that really made an impression on me.
Well, you mentioned on the website before came into it this year, you said about last year, the community here made a huge impact on me. I knew I wanted to come back the moment last season ended. Talk
That's
about that
correct.
quote.
Yeah. So operations, we deal a lot with families. Um, it's a lot of day to day. You know, you see a lot of familiar faces. It's a big town, but a tight knit community at the same time. So we interact with a lot of the same people, whether it be host families, campers, bat kids,
Mm.
and so you get pretty familiar with all these people, and it's really cool to see the impact that a team like this can have on a community. So that was something that really stuck with me, and I would stick by that thing that I said last year.
Well, now you're even more behind the scenes things, and you might have a little more comprehension of what goes on. Give a behind the scenes look, day to day, as the director of game day operations.
Yeah, so day to day, we do a lot with sponsorships. You know, sponsorships are what makes the organization tick. There's a lot of great people around the community and even farther out region into New Hampshire and Vermont that want to make sure that the Swamp Bats succeed. So it's a lot of interacting with certain people with those organizations, making sure that their sponsorships are being fulfilled. We set up tents and tables at every game. We make sure that everybody is front front and center, and a lot of these organizations will come and do giveaways and make sure that people in the community can see the other side of the business, not just whatever they're selling. And then, like I was saying, we interact with a lot of families and kids, so we do a lot of on-field games. We do the classic dizzy bat and hula hoop contests and races around the park. Just fun things to make sure that people aren't just staring at their phones in between innings and waiting for the next pitch. We want to make sure that everybody's engaged, having a good time, and paying attention.
Yeah, and what's the best part? You say you work with all these people. What's the best part of working with, say, families?
That's a great question. There's definitely a handful of families that I've now come across over the past 2 years, whether it be through camp or just seeing them at games. And it's great to see, you know, these kids are growing up with great role models. They get to see great baseball. And I'm sure that it's the sort of thing that they'll be able to pass down to their kids the same it was with my parents, because that's part of my love for baseball for sure, is going to games when I was a kid with my dad and getting to experience that sort of thing.
And you not only do a ton of what you just talked about, especially like with the sponsorships, but
Mhm.
also talk about prepping the ballpark in the first
Yeah.
place. That's a lot. That's a big deal, and also coordinating with the rest of the staff, the bunch of guys
Yeah.
and ladies our age, and working with these vendors all the time.
Yeah, so you know, I have a little bit of management experience, but this is a big step up on the resume. I wanted to manage a team of great individuals like yourself, and this has been an awesome experience. Definitely a learning experience at that. But there's a lot of things that people might not think about that go into executing a game day, whether it be putting out 25 trash cans or making sure that the umpires are taken care of and they have enough baseballs ready, or making sure that the golf carts have plenty of gas in it so that we can go pick up some handicapped fans, you know, all around the field and the parking lot. So there's definitely a long checklist that we got to go through every game, but we do our best to make sure that everything's accounted
And like with how many people you work with, how do you approach this teamwork and leadership on game days?
That's a great question. I definitely am a lead by example kind of guy. I always want to be first in, last out, work the hardest.
And you are, by the way.
Yeah.
I've seen it, so you
Oh,
don't have
always.
to. I've seen it.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to actions speak louder than words. So I don't want anyone to ever be looking around trying to find me and I'm just sitting somewhere on my phone. So I want to make sure that I'm always staying busy, staying active, interacting with everybody that's there, making sure that everybody's doing okay, and making sure that everything runs smoothly from start to finish.
Yeah, smooth as talking about music, the atmosphere,
Yeah.
just the signs being put up,
hmm
things like that.
Yeah. I mean, we have, God, I don't know, even 50 plus, giant billboards out in the outfield. Those got to get hung up by somebody. That was a big job prior to the season. The bleachers got to get painted every now and
Oh,
then. Oh, yeah. Um, just all those little things that, are part of the fan experience. And if they don't realize it or they don't think about it, that's fine. But it doesn't, we never want it to be something that people are looking at with contempt. We want to make sure that everybody's able to come to the game, enjoy the game, and get the full fan experience while they're there.
well, there's another quote that you put out there in the past. It's about creating seamless, welcoming experience. Fans can just relax and enjoy great baseball.
Yeah, we're really blessed here. I mean, NECBL is one of the premier summer collegiate leagues in the country. We get so many D1 athletes that are trying to further their careers, similar to the interns, and it really is awesome getting a chance to see some future pros. Like you never know what's going to happen. I talk to Kevin all the time about all the players that have come and gone, and the ones that have made it, and the ones that have at least made it to the minor leagues. You never know who it's going to be. It can always just be um, a couple hot months, and then they transfer to a bigger school, they
Yeah.
get a better opportunity, and that's that. They hit the ground running. So it's really exciting showing up to the ballpark every day, not knowing exactly where all these players are going to end up, but you're definitely hoping for the best.
Yeah, with the atmosphere these players bring.
hmm
Speak about these fans and what sets Swamp Bats fans apart from the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep harping on it, but starting with the host families, this
Really?
is really like out of the goodness of people's hearts. People are welcoming players from across the country into their homes and providing for them, giving them meals, giving them a bed. And I think it really just starts there. All those people end up coming to the games. They tell their friends, and their kids tell their friends, and all of a sudden you have a packed house. And I think that that's really good for the Swamp Bats and the league in general because it's something that, like I was saying earlier, it gets passed down generation to generation. We want to make sure that everybody's having a good time, so they'll be they'll be spreading the word. And yeah, and I don't know what else to say about that.
And that all the kids are behaving, of course.
Of course, yeah. I
You
mean, we
have
got
those.
to keep them in line when we can.
Sometimes people just run on the field. Remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those.
But we have our dash in the grass in the sixth inning, so we let all the kids run across the outfield, have a crazy race against one of our interns, Brett, who
Right.
yeah, Brett will talk his talk, and then right before, oh, my hamstring hurts, I'm
That's what
feeling
goes on over there.
tired. Yeah, hey, I'm just saying, he is undefeated. I'll give him credit there.
One was really close.
Yeah, I heard from multiple sources that he crossed the line first. I'll give it to
Dude, I was right there.
him.
But hey, that's this summer. What about last summer? What's your favorite thing that happened last summer here with the Swamp Bats?
Dang, put me on the spot. Last summer, Independence Eve is probably our biggest night. We have the giant fireworks show for the entire city of Keene. It was a great night, great atmosphere, and then the fireworks show was just awesome. And we as an intern crew, we're running around with our heads cut off sometimes,
Crazy.
but we dim all the lights. Everybody grabs some chairs and just sits and watches the fireworks show, and that was a great way to cap off a good night.
I mean, do you ever get to enjoy the game as well, or it's just you're running around once first pitch is thrown to the last out of the game?
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll only catch a couple of innings at the most. We always got stuff to do. Especially in the past couple of weeks, we've had some really big nights with a lot of sponsors, and
Mm.
like I said, I like keeping busy. So it's a lot of checking in on sponsors, making sure the volunteers are all doing well, making sure that concessions is stocked up and
Oh yeah.
everybody's getting their food quick, and then making sure that the team is doing well too. So got to check on the coaches too. Can't forget
Oh
about them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's your relationships like with the coaching staff now that you've been here for a couple of years?
Really, really good. I really respect Coach Mac, Sean McKenna. Yeah, I think that he does a great job.
Big Mac?
Yeah, Big Mac. I saw that he actually just got his 100th win
Yeah.
as the head coach of the SwampBats. Not a minor milestone. That's pretty awesome.
Hmm. And
And then Casey O'Brien, the hitting coach. I love Casey. He's a dog. Got along with him last year. I feel like he is a great resource. He's a good guy to talk to if you ever just have something you need to get off your chest or something to talk about. And then Stephen Banks. I mean, what can't you say about Stephen Banks? He was a pitcher here last year, and he's stepping up into the coaching role this year, and he's doing a real good job. Pitching staff has been doing great, and he's always there. I like I said, I try to get there first, but Bangs beats me most days. He's out
yeah,
there working on the mound, raking the bullpen, doing whatever
he
he's got
loves
to
his
do.
raking. He
Oh yeah,
loves
he
it so
does.
much. I mentioned in the previous podcast I went to school with him. He loves field work.
Yeah,
I mean, he's proud
he's a
of it.
different breed.
Different breed, like you though, like him. Yeah. What's some new ideas or improvements upon yourself mainly going into this year?
Yeah, like I was saying, the management experience was a big step for me. So it's really trying to get a feel of working with 12 of y'all and making sure that everybody is not only just doing their job but thriving, having a good time, and continuing their careers because we're all here for a reason. We're all trying to make something out of ourselves, break our feet in the door of the athletic community, so to speak. And I want to make sure that I can do whatever I can to help everybody in that respect.
And I'm not gonna lie, Liam. When we both first got here this summer, the first day, or even like the first week, maybe. And I hope you don't take offense. I did not know you were, the director, the I guess higher up,
Yeah.
because you did not act like it at all. You were with us, even though you're a
Mhm.
good few years older than us.
Old man on campus.
And you really come down to earth and you hang out with us. You make sure we're okay all the time. And it didn't come to me. It didn't come to like a few others as well that you were really above us, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was impressive that like was that your mentality going in like let me be like eye to eye with them and see them through.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, you and I, off microphone, but both grew up, playing sports, being part of a team. Like I enjoy being one of the guys, just hanging out with everybody, making sure everybody's having a good time. And then at the same time, I want to make sure that everything is getting done the most efficiently it can and correctly.
Hmm.
So getting a feel for the director side of things, I think it's very important to understand all the people that are listening to you. So that's something that I really valued that first couple of weeks was getting to know everybody on not just a surface level, a little bit of a deeper level, making sure that I understand what makes everybody tick. And yeah, yeah, I think it's just the way that I approach this job is like I don't want it to seem like I'm just some big bad boss. We're all living together, and we're all around the same age, I'll say, and just want to make sure that we're enjoying our time here and not just only focused on the work, even though the work is really important.
Do you have any advice to the first time, advisors, that are heading into some type of profession? Might not just be sports management, but working with people that, you want to be friends with, but you also have to stay on top of.
Yeah, I mean the most important word for me by far is communication. You want to make sure that there's an open line of communication with what you're doing. You never want anyone to feel uncomfortable with bringing a problem to you. You want to be able to address something like that.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, you also want people to be comfortable, just talking to you. So I think making sure that the communication is strong, separating, work and home life, and making sure that there's a distinct separation in that regard, and just keeping everything clear. I think is the best way I can put it. Making sure that everybody is on the same page as often as possible.
You have any advice for first time fans coming to SwampBats games?
Oh, that I mean, if you got kids, get there early or on field game signups. That's a hot commodity. Everybody wants to be hopping in the dizzy bat, the Dubes tire roll. So get there early before those spots get taken up. Um, Definitely stop by the grill. If Vicky and Ron are there, they make a mean burger and some fries.
Those
Can't pass
fries.
that up.
Those fries.
Um, Keep your ears open. Walt is doing the PA announcements all game. Walt's great at what he does,
Well, man.
and keep your eyes peeled for Kevin and Sarah. They're always out there interacting with everybody, making sure that everybody's enjoying their time and just being great people overall. So I would say that that's the biggest sort of preparation I can give everybody. And then once you're there, I mean, I hope you're ready for some great baseball.
Oh
The
yeah.
swamp bats are. I mean, I'm knocking on wood right now. Swamp bats are not doing too shabby this year. It's been
No.
enjoyable.
Yeah, you've seen it so far. But I would say if you're coming to the ballpark for the first time, definitely try the fries.
Yeah,
Definitely try those
yeah,
fries. They're really good. I didn't know that about the signups though for kids.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. We set up early and they go quick.
I mean, there's always kids for these games.
Yeah,
Like
it's
no
the
hesitation.
community, you know.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's what Sarah and Kevin, the rest of the board, really do a
Hmm.
great job of. And, obviously, what the game day operations does to
Hmm.
really put it all together, the finishing touches, unreal. You guys run around like crazy.
Yeah, we get pretty competitive with the step tracker. I'm just saying, no one's beat me yet.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm putting in
Also,
12-mile nights.
ooh, 12
Yes,
miles.
sir.
Walking around like crazy, huh?
Yes, sir.
But also, you get very competitive with that. You also are very competitive with the yellow car
I
contests.
mean,
Can you
yeah,
talk about that?
yeah. I don't know if this is something that's a little too niche, but my brother and I just used to do that back in the day on car trips. This might be a little foreign to you, Fitzy, but there weren't always these cell phones that you could stare at.
Right.
So on long car rides, you had to entertain yourselves one way or another, and one way was just playing yellow car. It's similar to punch buggy. You see a VW Beetle, throw a punch in the arm. If you see a yellow car, you just whoever calls it out first gets the point.
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that. So, speaking of habits and maybe some hobbies, I've heard of some about them, but you play pickup hockey, some live
yeah, yeah.
sports, some of them.
I'm fortunate to grow up in a New England town where the winters are chilly, a lot of ponds and lakes. So I grew up playing pickup pond hockey, and my dad and a couple of his friends would make a rink at the tennis courts in my town. So just hop off the bus after school, get a couple kids, and play a little 3-on-3. That was my jam.
And you didn't have a lot of electronics either, so you
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys were
yeah.
locked in. You were like kind of living in the old days over there
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I
before.
had dial-up internet until I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, no lie.
Talk to me about that. Was that a struggle or is that something you're
Oh,
grateful for?
yeah, I mean, it was definitely a struggle. Looking back on it, I'm pretty grateful for it, but waiting 30 minutes for a 3-minute YouTube video to load was not my favorite. I don't hate the high-speed internet now.
Then, speaking of hobbies and how you grew up away from electronics, you also picked up on some very cool things that I loved when I first met you that first week. The guitar and the piano playing.
Yeah,
Unreal. We're sitting next to a piano right here in our studio, but we've played on that a lot of nights. I've
many
seen
a
you play
night.
the guitar. It was wow.
I mean, what can I say? I appreciate it. Yeah, I grew up. I've always had a love for music. I'm very grateful that my parents have. My parents weren't necessarily musicians, but they have a great background in listening to great music. So grew up with all the records and CDs in the house. Um, I started playing drums. I can't even remember. I had to be 5 or 6 years old. Played that for a long time. Played in high school. Played in a handful of bands. Played in the like competitive jazz band in high school. And then I taught myself how to play piano and guitar somewhere along the line and really fell in love with that. So playing music is definitely a big hobby of mine.
You say competitive music?
Yeah, so it was like, jazz band. We would go to competitions and stuff around the area to different high schools and just play a couple songs and then, they would be judged or whatever.
Was that your first start, like competition? You'd say, like
Oh no,
participating?
no. I was playing all the sports when I was a young
Right.
buck. Yeah.
And
So
that,
I was the type of kid that was taking like 6-year-old soccer like it was the World Cup.
I mean, who
Yeah.
wouldn't? No.
Yeah.
But maybe that inspired you one day to get really competitive about yellow cars. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, it's just the competitive juices, what can I say?
Well, competitive juices to the side, out off the field. how do you stay energized and balanced with how much you have to keep up throughout this long season?
Yeah, I mean, not to pump y'all's tires, but I have a great intern group. Really get along with everybody. Everybody's making my job so much easier. Love hanging out with everyone and just having a good time. We're actually just getting ready to watch some Love Island with the gang. It's another another spicy episode tonight. So we've all been watching that together, having a good time, sharing some laughs, and yeah,
Well, we wouldn't be watching Love Island without our ringleader of Love Island, Brenna Carlton.
of course, yeah. I mean, we got to give a shout out to Brenna,
I mean, we
aka
also
Fluff.
Fluff, Puff, whatever.
Yeah,
She's poofy hair. You
Tennessee.
see her at the ballpark. She'll be running around.
Yeah, can't miss her.
We bring it up. We do have a crowd here today.
Yeah, yeah,
Brenna's in attendance, but she also
yeah.
is the ringleader of Love Island
Crashing the party.
with
Yeah.
with the interns for sure.
But yeah, that's the thing. Everybody has their interests, and we're doing a great job. I feel like of remaining together as a group, spending a lot of time with each other away from the field, making sure that, like I was saying earlier, making sure that it's not all work, work, work. We're having some fun while we're here too.
Yeah, and I know you're really big on music, and
Hmm.
we listen to tunes all the time
Oh yeah.
together. But when you're at the ballpark working, do tunes play a factor in your work at all? Because I know your music taste at this point. Sometimes they play a little more country.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy country rotation at the field, but we have a few songs sprinkled in there that are more my taste, and
There
yeah,
you go.
you'll see me running around singing those
Oh yeah, I've seen you sing.
songs.
You sing it low though. That's your low intensity.
Yeah, yeah, low profile.
All right. So what are you most excited for this season?
I mean, I'm just excited for the second half of the season. I mean, we got some great games coming up, some great matchups, some great sponsored evenings. I'm looking at Brenna right now. Her night is coming up, and yeah, I'm just really excited to see how the second half of the season ends up going. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, we get a couple home playoff games, get Alumni Field packed, get it loud. Tough atmosphere for another team to come into, and we'll take it from there.
Independence Day Eve coming as well.
Yeah, I mean, we got the fireworks just around the corner.
You know what, Liam? We have a little game. Come up with a little lightning round. Just say.
I'm listening.
What's your favorite ballpark snack?
I'm a picky eater. I anyone that's ever seen me at the field would probably tell you this, but I love a good slice of pizza. We get pizza delivered from Pizza Pie just around the corner, and I'll definitely house a couple of those sometime during the game.
What's your favorite walk-up song?
Favorite walk-up song right now is "Ain't About the Money." I want to say it's TJ Skylar's walk-up song.
Oh yeah, yeah. But what about in general?
Oh, and
No,
like
I mean, add-on question.
my walk-up song would be "Picture Me Rolling" by Tupac. Love that song.
That would be your
Yeah,
walk-up song, you say?
yes, sir.
What's a dream concert for you?
Dream concert. Wow.
Because you're big into music.
They're a little bit old right now, but I would love to see the band Tool. I know
Tool?
that they put on a crazy concert, and they definitely play for a while too. So I would say Tool.
What kind of music does Tool play?
They're like depending on the person you ask, you might get some different answers, but you could probably classify them as metal, but they're kind of like progressive alternative rock. I like to think like they're kind of like if Pink Floyd had like very heavy distortion and a crazy drummer.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, also, I know you throw a mean knuckleball.
Yeah. What can I
Would you
say?
rather strike someone out throwing that knuckleball
Mhm.
or hit that knuckleball? Your best
Oh,
knuckleball.
a strikeout. Yeah.
Really?
Definitely. Yeah.
Like I've seen it. It's pretty gross. How when did you start developing that pitch?
That was just messing around in the backyard when I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and whatever reason, I just always had fun chucking it around.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice, man. Well, you have any final thoughts or shout outs?
I mean,
We
just
shouted out Brenna.
again, not to pump your tires, but shout out Fitzy. I mean, I'm sure that the people listening to the podcast are familiar with him, but I mean, I don't know many people that work harder than him. Every time I see him, he's got his computer, he's got his microphone, he's just out and about. He works like a demon, and when he's not at work, he's picking up extra side jobs,
Oh,
doing landscaping, helping out the ops, doing whatever he can to make sure that the team is doing okay. So I really appreciate you, Fitzy.
we appreciate you, man. Keep doing you and work through those hot days out in the field. We appreciate
Yeah,
what you're putting on behind the scenes.
dog days of summer coming up.
Liam, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
No
Man.
problem, man. It was a pleasure.
So we have a little extra special guest here, Brenna Carlton, right?
Yep,
How
that's
you
me.
feel? How you feel being on here? What's going on,
I'm
Brenna?
honestly kind of giddy. This is exciting. I've never been on a podcast before.
Welcome.
Great to be here.
We just had Liam on here, our director of operations guy over
The
there,
one and only.
the one and only. What kind of things does Liam bring to the ballpark experience?
What doesn't he bring? I mean, he's just kind of everyone's right hand man. Like, if we have a concern, a problem, if we're happy about something, if we want to brag on something, we always go to him. If we have any questions, we go to him. Like, me and him were just kind of cutting up the script and the sheet for tomorrow. And he's just always there to for a friend, and always there to have a smile on your face. So it's kind of easy to enjoy this job when he has you as your boss. So
Brenna calls an operations intern, by the way. Did I say that? Did I mention that?
maybe
Maybe, but it's in
I'm
there
an
now.
operations intern.
Operations intern. Now, if you can't tell, Brenna Carlton has a bit of an accent.
Bit.
A bit. You're from Tennessee. What's it like? What was it like growing up in Tennessee?
Oh man, I love it. I was been born and raised there, so it's kind of something that you just kind of that's your normal. So I love the mountains. I love where I'm from. Jackson, Tennessee is kind of a small area, but it's something that is always a home away from home. So it's kind of like the state, like going to college in Mississippi. Um, I was born in like more of a country area, so Mississippi kind of was. That's kind of like how I picked that college. Is again like what I said earlier, to go home away from home. So it was just kind of awesome. So coming here was definitely a
Big time.
big time
Yeah.
change in my life, but not necessarily a bad change, but something I've definitely been grateful for.
Yeah. Well, how's that transition going from Tennessee to up here, up way north,
Way north.
New Hampshire?
Not as much humidity, but dang, there's a lot of bugs here.
There's so many
A
bugs.
lot of bugs. I love it here though. Like I really love it up north. I can't say I'd probably see myself living this up north, but this summer has been such a great experience, and it's such a great area. But there's also like the people that I've met along the way have made this area so much better. So
Well, how does growing up in Tennessee really mold your interest in sports now that you're here working for a baseball team?
I think it's more of not just kind of where I grew up, but like who I grew up around. Like my family, big sports people. My brother, especially, he always grew up playing sports. So as a little sister, I kind of want to be like my big brother. So I kind of started playing sports just like him, started getting into sports. So he kind of molded my interest and love and passion for sports that has grew into a desire. So that's kind of how I started off with, and I went to college in Mississippi, and it kind of grew into. I thought it was something that I loved to play in high school, and then once I went to school, and I didn't have that sports that I had practices every day after school and every games, and I just was like, okay, I think this is something that it's not just a season of my life that I have, but it's also a passion that I want for like continue for my future. And it wasn't just like I said, it wasn't just a senior season, but it was more of like the life. Like it was a part of my heart that I felt like was missing. So I kind of got into sports administration and Mississippi State women's soccer team that I work for, and that kind of led me to working for the Keene SwampBats in New Hampshire.
And something a little bit about your past as well. You're also the MSU women's soccer team manager.
I am.
You still are?
I am. Yeah. Still are. Still am.
What's that position like, and how'd you get into it?
Connections. My brother actually. Everything goes back to my.
Shut up, big bro.
Huh? He knew someone that worked for the women's soccer team, and he reached out and was like, "Hey, there's an opening for the girls manager position." So I reached out, probably bugged my boss a little bit, and I got it. And that has been one of the biggest blessings of my college experience. there is a lot of behind the scenes, kind of like operations. It's kind of what I do for theirs operations. So it's just a lot of behind the scenes, whether that's laundry for the girls, going to pick up food, putting out food, getting new cleats. Like I'm over their jerseys and all their uniforms. So it's really the ballpark is just so large that from what I do there and what I do here. So all the same things, but also very different. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Any
very
favorite?
behind the scenes, putting out small fires left and right.
You love being behind the scenes of these things,
I
huh?
love it.
Putting out fires, maybe putting out fireworks, because 4th of July's coming up. I know you don't have a big, you're not a fan of fireworks.
I'm not a big fan of fireworks, but I'm gonna conquer that fear one day.
I think you should, because I think you kind of got in the way of the firework.
No, I totally was a problem, and I'm so glad you helped me realize that. Fitz. Totally was a problem.
So Brenna was 8 years old, right?
8 years old.
And she got hit by a firework. Describe that experience.
And, I remember like it was yesterday. I was by my car, and my dad was putting up a firework, and I remember him putting the rock by the firework to hold it up. And I was like, he has such great ideas. Like, my dad is so smart. And as soon as the firework was about to go off, it like rattled and the firework blew over and it went off straight into my shoulder and it bounced off my shoulder and went straight to my cousin's stomach. And I was just crying. There was blood, there was bruises, there was burning. And anyways, like it wasn't traumatizing at all. Like I really love fireworks to this day. But yeah, it was something that I definitely remember.
I didn't hear about that. It hit your cousin's stomach.
It did.
Did it hurt the cousin?
It did. It hurt all of us. We were both crying, and
How old was your cousin?
he's the same age as me.
Okay, so he was 8 and hit off his stomach. You
Mhm.
were both crying together. Had a little moment.
Had a little moment. I had him to experience that
So
awesome time for
there
me.
was no explosion from the firework, though.
Nope, I was in its path, like you said earlier. I was in its way.
And guess what? Now the firework didn't live out its destiny.
It did because of me.
Well, hopefully you get over your fear with fireworks. Maybe you guys should
I'm
have a
expecting the
conversation.
show to be great and wonderful. That my fear is just going to be gone.
Oh yeah, big time. So now you're here in Keene, New Hampshire,
I am.
and there's fireworks everywhere. But what really drew you to Keene and working for the SwampBats now?
Wait, how do I enjoy it? Is that what you said?
What drew you to it?
Oh, so shout out, her name's Mallory. She actually is a coworker at Mississippi State. She works women's soccer team as well. And I don't know how she got this job last summer, but she worked here last summer. And she got back and she was raving every day about it. Like how much she missed it, who she missed, like especially Liam. Like she loved Liam. And I was like, who was this Liam guy? Like he doesn't sound that cool. And she just started raving about it and I was like, okay, Mal, like whatever. Well, I started getting closer to summer and I was like, I'm looking for jobs. And I knew that I wanted to move away. I knew that there's experience for me somewhere in the world. And I was like, there's a bigger plan for me that I'm going to move away and do something for myself away from, my home and my college and everything. So I was looking and nothing was drawing me towards anything. And I had a couple interviews and now I've reached out. I was like, Mel, tell me about this New Hampshire. Tell me about it.
Tell me about this Liam fellow.
Tell me about this Liam fellow. Like, what's so special about it? Well, she started talking to me about it, and I just thought it sounded really cool. And I got in touch with Sarah, which is my boss, and we reached out, had a Zoom, and I thought about it, and I was just like that's where God wants me to be, and now I'm here, and I'm loving it. I'm so glad I took the opportunity.
Do you remember anything your friend was saying about the SwampBats internship that really was like, oh my god, I should try?
No, it was just like every day she's like, man, that reminds me of New Hampshire. I'm like, you were being so weird. But
Tennessee, they don't like it.
Tennessee, I'm like, okay, Mal, I get it. You loved it. I understand. But now I get the hype.
Do you remember anything she said about Liam? anything nice?
No, I was like, so how are the guys up there? Like, what's going on with them? You're like, oh, they're awesome. She mentioned Liam as like one of her bestest friends, and thought that was sweet. And I was like, man, he doesn't seem that cool.
So
he's blushing over there.
He's blushing over there, blushing hard. So what made you look forward? what were you looking forward to most this summer coming in here after you knew you committed?
I
Told
did.
Sarah you're coming in. What were you looking forward to?
Well, I remember the day I committed here, I threw my phone on the ground and I just started praying that God would put people, and not only people, but experience that I'll never get to experience before. And I feel like that's exactly what it did. I got here, I was nervous as can be, but the people that I've met have made me feel comfortable, and this just felt like a home away from home for the summer. And it's just been great to not only have these memories with these people, but experiences or like I said earlier, like I'm doing a game day sheet for tomorrow. Like I'm over a game. Like that's just something I never thought I'd be able to say. Um, and it's just like kind of also what I said earlier, like putting out small fires. Like it's just something great that is different than Mississippi State working there is that it's so much go, 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 which I love. Like I don't like sitting still. And I think it's awesome that there's so many things we can do and we have such an awesome operations team that we do it together. And um, I love the team aspect. And so all four of us that we've worked with this summer has just been great. And I think this experience has not only, helped me and what I want to do for the rest of my life, but it's also taught me so many lessons and so many things that, has helped me along the way, like knowing what to do for a game or ideas of how to spark up a game and make it more fun and just like kind of stuff like that, that is the small things that we work on behind the scenes but also make a big impact on the fans and the baseball operations, but all of it behind the scenes. So
Nice.
mhm.
And it's a big difference between here and Tennessee. What was
Mhm.
your breakthrough moment? Because obviously you were nervous at first.
Mhm.
What was your breakthrough moment when you after you got here that was like, maybe this is gonna be a good time?
The day that we got here and we were
That
setting up
early.
my room and I was still nervous. Like me and the girls, we're all so different, and which at first is so much like different from where I'm from. Like I have my sorority sisters, and we're all kind of the same in a way. And we get here, and then we're like different in every single part of life that you would know. And then I remember we were all sitting around, and then Kendra comes and gets all the guys, and y'all come in there, and we're all talking. I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna be half bad. And then we all went to
Five guys,
Five Guys and
ice cream.
Bricks, and I was like, this is gonna be okay. Like I know these people are great. Even the first night, I knew everyone that I met was gonna be great. So I think at meeting people, kind of felt this like ease and peace in my heart that it was gonna be okay.
At the end of that night, I remember we were leaving the ice cream parlor, I think it was. We were getting in the car, we were getting a
I
ride,
know
and I remember
exactly what you're about to say.
you were like, "Are we gonna be best friends?" My bad, I'll do better. Are we gonna be best friends? You hit me with that. I was like,
I remember that. And you were, I'm pretty sure you like gave me the cold shoulder, and you were like, I don't know, we'll see.
I was messing with you. You took that personally?
No, I was like, okay,
We never best
I put
buds.
some work in, I guess.
Well, now we're watching Love Island with the whole group. It's a great time.
I mean, it's like every night you have to be there. Like it's mandatory at this point.
Every night we don't have games. We have to,
Even if we do
yeah,
have
we do.
games, sometimes we come back and
You're right.
watch.
You're right. It's very busy up here. It's a long season. It
Very.
really is. What's like a typical day for you guys?
Oh,
I
I mean,
the deep breath.
it it really depends on the day. Like truly depends on the day. Like tomorrow, for example, it is Ruby's birthday night, but it's also All Faith night. And so we're probably gonna get there at 3. We're gonna set up tables, make sure all the volunteers are okay and stable, which that's one of our top priorities is making sure they're okay and they're doing good and they need any help. And we set out chairs and benches and tents and sometimes we make sure like water jugs are good for both dugouts. Um, get out carts.
Need Wayne there.
Need, we we need Wayne.
Need
I
Wayne
can't
for
do
the.
those water jugs anymore. Let me tell you. Um, get out the first pitch, the national anthem. Um, Liam always deals with like the baseball buddies and getting like the baseballs and the umps, getting the umps ready, getting the baseballs for the game. I mean, I can go on and on of like what we do, and it's just but it's something that I'm never wake up and I'm like, oh, I have to do this. Like it's gotten to the point where okay, I get to do this. Like I get to wake up in a Keene, New Hampshire dorm, and I get to go to this and experience this. And I think it's just grateful. I can't think of one morning I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do this. Yes, we've had long days, extremely long days, but we always do it as a team. And that's my favorite part is we always do it as a team and we always conquered and we do it with a great attitude and we get through the day with each other on our side. So
Yeah, a big reason I really wanted to ask you guys this question and talked a little bit with Liam about it. This week was rough. This past week was
so
very hot and a
especially the
lot
past 2
going on.
weeks.
Yeah,
Camp.
yeah. I mean, you guys had to wake up early and everything. I mean, how did you personally get through that, especially with the heat? Because that was crazy.
I think it like yeah, the heat was bad. Um I will say this one thing with Tennessee, I guess I'm a little used to it.
Oh, okay.
Summertime, I'm definitely used to the heat, but it was also long days with a lot of heat. So again, kind of like I said earlier, I just like reminded myself that how lucky am I to have this opportunity, and these people would have this opportunity with, and that's kind of what my mindset was going through each day. And I knew that things were going to get done, and we're going to get things done. It's going to be a good day, and you have to make it a good day, or I mean, you're just going to be in a bad mood. So I was just like, I'm going to bounce off of the people that I have around me, and we're going to get through this all together. And that's what we did. We got this week, and that was definitely, like you said, it's definitely a long week, but we got through it, and we got through it as a team. And even the long days, I appreciate it, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for all of the long days, the short days, the off days. I think it's all been an amazing experience.
It's impressive what you guys do. It. I know it's work, 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 but what's the best experience when you're at that ballpark? What do you enjoy the most?
What I enjoy the most is seeing all the hard work pay off. Like even not even with operations. Like for example, for like broadcasting, seeing those press box and seeing Mike stressed
Oh,
out
yeah,
and
Mike.
Smythe and all of his hard work that he does every night. Just seeing all of y'all's work, social media girls, every hard work that we do and everything that we put up behind the scenes for this team, seeing all of it pay off. It's just awesome. Like seeing all the vendors up and at it at the tents or the national anthem first pitch, like them getting through and it being good. Um, and away games, like us listening to y'all's broadcasting, like seeing all of that, it's just, I think that's what makes it worth it, you know? I think it's just great to see all of our work that we put in and day out work out and make this operations team and make this like company and this baseball team like really stand out.
And the team's not doing bad this year. This has got
Not
off
too
to a
bad
good
at
start,
all.
so it's been fun to watch, right?
Been great to watch. I remember our first game, we didn't do too good, but then after that, they like bounced back and
Broke their winning streak record, franchise
yep.
history.
And that's just crazy that we get to experience that.
Yeah.
And it's just been awesome to experience something as crazy as that because it's just such a special moment in Keene because I know how big the SwampBats are in Keene, and I think that's also one thing that I didn't realize coming in here is to know I didn't know think that the SwampBats were like that big
Yeah.
here. I mean, we have a team like this in Tennessee, but they're not like crazy like they are here. And I came here and we had my first day at work was a parade. And I remember walking through and they were like, oh my gosh, SwampBats, Ribby. And I'm like, okay. Like this community really, really loves SwampBats. And so seeing that unfold throughout the summer and them showing up and showing out and like going crazy over Ribby and going crazy over seeing the interns. I've had kids come over to me ask for my autograph. Like, cause I mean, it's just they love the interns. They love everything about the SwampBats. So I think seeing that has been absolutely insane.
It is such a cool feeling when you get asked for your autograph. I got
I was
asked.
like, okay, finally, do you want a picture? I think I might have asked him, do you want my autograph? I still gave it to him.
There you go. And I mean, the kids can. Yes, obviously, working with kids, it takes a lot,
Hmm.
but it's pretty rewarding too. You know,
Absolutely.
and watching these kids grow throughout the summer.
And like that we're like they look up to us, and I think that's just so cool. Like we were them at one point. because I remember being a kid and I would see people working in sports like in middle school. I'm like, dang, that is so cool. Like I'm gonna be that one day. And like here I am, and we had this little guy named Emmett, and he always follows us around. And Emmett literally got a black polo, or not, he got a black sweatshirt just so he could be like Liam. He said, I'm gonna do this so I can be like Liam and be like a little intern.
Wow.
And it's just so, like, it's just so rewarding to have that feeling, and it's just crazy.
Now, Brenna, when this is all over, what's the long-term goals looking like? What do you want to be?
I, I, I don't know. I think it would be great to go back to Tennessee and live in Nashville. Um, I want to work for a big program somewhere, and I just want to help. I just want to make my impact somewhere, and I don't know where that is. I don't know when it is, but I know that it's all part of God's plan for me, and I know that somewhere I'm gonna put my best work in whatever opportunity I get. I'm gonna go through my senior year of college, and after that,
The world's
I
awaiting.
couldn't tell you where I'm gonna go, Fitz, but because I know, I mean, sports is so broad,
Yeah,
and it's just
so much out there.
so much out there, so many opportunities that I just couldn't tell. I do know that I want to stay in operations. I
Really?
think it's so fun. I think this summer has definitely shown me because I know going this summer, I was like, Mom, I don't know if I want to be in operations. Like maybe I don't want to be in sports my whole life. Like everyone here, y'all know this, but I love animals. Like I
Oh,
literally,
we love our puppies.
we love our puppies, and I mean, I'm like, okay, maybe I have a passion in animals, but I mean, being here, it's just I get so excited. I'm having so much fun on games. I'm like, I can't just not do this. I can't just not do athletics. And I know that. So I think this summer made me realize that I know that I want to do operations somewhere somehow and just be putting out those little fires for some team somewhere in the world.
Any advice you give to these new interns coming in next year and going into new jobs after the summer too, working in
Mhm.
operations?
I think my advice would be just, which is so easy to say, but just enjoy it. Like the long days, the short days. If you get through it and you are thankful for the opportunity that you have, and if you're thankful for waking up that morning and have a smile on your face, you're gonna enjoy it so much better than you would if you're draining the hard days. Like that's how we get through all of these hard days to operations. Is we have each other's back, and if we have our walkie talkies, and if Liam's like, I need someone here, like we're there. Like it's just kind of something that you just kind of have to you get what you put in, you know. Is that what you say? You receive
Yeah, so
yeah,
get what you put in.
yeah, you get what you put in, and I think that for all of the interns or like the young kids that are wanting to work in athletics and wanting to go into something, you know, something like big, and just remember that it's bigger than just a team. Like you got a whole crew behind that team that's putting out fires, broadcasting, doing social medias, doing something every single day to make that company awesome. And so I think my biggest advice is just to be thankful each day that you have to take it with a grain of salt of, you know, enjoy the day while you have it, enjoy the moment, and just keep being you and work hard, and you know the work that all that will pay off. Probably my biggest advice.
No, Brenna, before we close, you talk a lot about your faith.
hmm
How has your religion and your faith shaped you as a human?
I think that my faith has shaped me in the sense of that is the reason why I'm thankful for each day. That's the reason I wake up and I'm like, you know, thank you, Lord, for waking me up this morning, and thank you for putting these people in my life. Like I told Liam and Brett the other day, I was like, I just want you to like I pray for you every night, and I pray that I just thank the Lord that thank you for putting everyone in this summer in my life. They have shaped me in ways that I couldn't explain, and so I think that's something that has made me into a better person, and it makes me put a smile on my face each day is to know that no matter what, God has a plan for me, and no matter what, that He's right behind me on the hard days, the ones that I'm like upset and I'm frustrated, the ones that I'm happy, just to give all glory to Him. And the how I've seen him work in my life and how I've seen the Lord continue to be good to me and continue to show his goodness in my life, and not only my life but the people in my life, has just been unbelievable. And that's just something that my testimony has kind of unveiled. And I've just, ever since I got baptized this past year, it's just been a whirlwind of seeing his goodness all around. And I know that I wouldn't be getting this opportunity and appreciating this opportunity nearly as much as I didn't have in my life. So,
Well, Brenna, I'm looking forward to getting to know more about that the rest of the summer until August.
Absolutely, I'm gonna appreciate it. We have a month left, guys, so we're gonna enjoy it.
Yes, and this season for the SwampBats as well. Thank you for coming on here.
Hey, thanks for finally letting me. I did ask.
Finally, this is the third week.
I did ask like 5 minutes ago to be on this, but I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Fitz.
That's going to wrap up this week's podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. Next week, be sure to tune in. We release every episode every Monday on all your podcast platforms. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Chat in the Swamp. I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick. See you next time.